What's up, fellow internet denizens? Stop me if you've heard this one before. A good flag should be easy for a kindergartner to draw on a 3x5 note card, and it should have minimal writing or detail. Well, there's been some debate about this. For example, Bhutan's flag has a big complicated druk on it, but many people, myself included, don't see a problem with this at all because the druk is a major symbol of the country. No matter where you stand on flags and the details therein, it is a truth universally acknowledged that cities are notoriously bad at designing flags, and my hometown's flag is no exception. Let's talk about it. I was born in Torrance, California in the late 90s, and I lived there until about 2020. I grew up going to the farmer's market in Bunkasai regularly, and I marched in the Armed Forces Day Parade a few times. I even represented the city in our cultural exchange program with Kashiwa, Japan. I eventually want to live there again if I can afford it, or somewhere just as beautiful. However, I have always felt let down by the flag. You see, California's flag is fantastic, a grizzly bear looking at a burning red star. The United States flag is arguably even more iconic with its stars and stripes. Let's look at Torrance's flag. Now, let's start with the color. According to flagcolorcodes.com, the hex is 425D8E, which is the least appealing shade of blue I can imagine. This blue is so dreary, I honestly clocked it as gray for most of my childhood. Blue, to me, is a color that can mean so many things depending on the hue. Sky blue always reminded me of freedom and childhood. Teal is water to me, like the oceans on a day plankton is blooming. Ultramarine is noble, albeit overrated in some circles. Torrance's shade of blue is industrial. I can only ever imagine it on city works vehicles and on school uniforms and nowhere else. The next thing of note on this flag is the use of the city's logo, which is an unfortunate trend in most city and state flags. Here we have a map of the Palos Verdes Peninsula with a large chunk of Los Angeles County decorated with freeways, boats, and a plane. No child would be able to draw this flag off the top of their head. But that's not the point. The point is, this is just a map. The city only takes up an eighth of it at most. If you highlighted any other portion, this could easily be the flag of Palos Verdes, El Segundo, Compton, or any of the other municipalities on this chunk of land. Sure, if I wanted to find my way from the 405 to the 101, I could use this flag to help me, but that's not what a flag is for. A flag is a symbol of a group of people, uniting them under one banner and displaying something the group shares. Arguably, this flag shows where the citizens of Torrance live, but that's it. There's nothing to be proud of here. The cherry on top is that there are words around this map saying, a balanced city, industrial, residential, commercial. Notably, a balanced city is Torrance's motto, and this refers to how the city has a balance of industry, commerce, and residential areas. I've seen people argue about whether or not flags should have words on them, and I myself only believe words belong on flags if they are historically significant. For example, California's flag has California Republic written at the bottom, which makes sense because they were once a country of their own. Between the motto and the large Torrance, California at the bottom of this flag, I don't see much historical significance here. It's just, you are here, and this is what we have. Now that I've vented my frustrations here, let's talk about how to fix it. We can start off by thinking about what makes a good, memorable flag. The city of Chicago has a beautiful flag. Now, why is that? The six-pointed star is a symbol of the city of Chicago because no one at the time had seen a six-pointed star quite like it on a flag, and they wanted to claim it for their own. Each star represents an event in Chicago's history. For example, the Chicago Fire or the World's Fair, and there is room to add more stars in case something else significant happens. The three white stripes on the flag are the three major parts of Chicago, and the two blue stripes represent the two major bodies of water in the city. Another good example of a city flag is Julian, California, which has a scene of the moon and a star rising over Lake Cuyamaca and some mountains. The yellow symbolizes the gold that was mined there. So our benchmark for a good city flag is something that shows geographical significance without needing a map, and something that paints a picture of the city's identity without needing a motto. Now, what do I imagine when I think of Torrance? We have a great beach, we have industry and commerce, we have an airfield named after a war hero, a good view of the San Gabriels, and beautiful parks. So I was thinking we should start with some colors. Teal, of course, will be the sea. Gold will stand for the beach and commerce. Gray will stand for Zamperini Field. field, as well as PCH and Torrance's industry. Green will represent the parks and residential areas. I'll also have red off to the side here as a surprise tool that will help us later. Now, how should we arrange these colors? That's the tricky part. I was thinking the teal will be to the left as the sea is to the west, and from there, have green, gold, and gray be a horizontal stack. Green will be on the top because Columbia Park is in the north part of Torrance, and that is arguably our best park. At the center, we have gold as Del Amo Mall, and most of the financial centers are at the center of Torrance. And finally, the gray will be at the bottom as Zamperini Field and PCH are to the south. Each of the 3 horizontal bars are to be equal in size, symbolizing that Torrance is a balanced city. Finally, let's put a red star over the sea as the sun sets there, and also as a nod to our sister city, thousands of miles to the west, where the sun rises. And there we have it. A balanced flag for a balanced city. Torrance was my home for most of my life, and I don't think I will ever find anywhere like it again. I still consider myself a part of it because it was a part of me for so long. I haven't lived there since COVID, and therefore I am probably not qualified to design a new flag in the first place. However, consider this a letter from a friend to a friend. Torrance, my friends, please look at your original flag and think about it. I understand that your logo is important to you, and I agree that it has its place. I just think you'd be better off with a flag that means something more than just you are here, because you are so much more to your citizens than just here. My flag is only an example of what you could have. I offer it up as a challenge. Go out and ask your citizens to design something better than your current flag, and I know that many of them will create something even better than mine. Thank you for your consideration. If anyone from Torrance sees this, please feel free to send this around. Who knows? Maybe this will make it to the city council or even the mayor. I've been Alien Daydreamer, and I am out. Bye.